We need to know where she is. We need her to come home. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery.
This is enough to shake key tree in the Guthrie case. There are moments in an investigation when everything feels stuck. The days pass. The headlines slow. The cameras pull back. And the silence becomes unbearable. But then something happens. Something powerful enough to rattle the stillness. And according to legal analyst Nancy Grace, that moment may have just arrived in the case of missing grandmother Nancy Guthrie. Because this time, the family didn't just plead. They escalated. They made a move that Nancy Grace says is big enough to shake the tree. As the days drag on and answers remain painfully scarce, Nancy Guthrie's family continues to cling to hope. Real hope. The kind that refuses to die, even when fear whispers otherwise. In a heartbreaking new video, Savannah Guthrie delivered words that no daughter ever wants to say out loud.
She may be lost. She may already be gone. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves.
She acknowledged the unthinkable, that her mother may be lost, that she may already be gone, that she may have gone home to the Lord she loves, dancing in heaven. But then came the line that cut through everything. We need to know where she is. We need her to come home. Not for headlines, not for justice in theory, for closure, for truth, for dignity. And then came the announcement that changed the temperature of this case. The family is now offering up to $1 million for information that leads to Nancy Guthrie's recovery. $1 million. When Nancy Grace reacted to that number, you could hear it in her voice. This isn't symbolic. This isn't routine. This is strategic. According to her, that kind of money doesn't just sit there quietly. It pressures people. It unsettles people. It forces conversations behind closed doors. And she made something very clear. She's not necessarily talking about the main suspect. Because someone deeply involved may already feel too buried to turn back. She's talking about the people on the edges. The accomplice with a conscience. The girlfriend who overheard something she shouldn't have. The coworker who noticed a strange detail. The neighbor who saw a car at an odd hour. The person who's been on the fence. $1 million is more than a reward. It's leverage. And Nancy Grace pointed out something subtle but incredibly important. Earlier rewards were tied to specific legal outcomes. Information leading to whereabouts, arrest, conviction. But this time, there's no qualifier tied to prosecution. Savannah Guthrie made it clear. The priority is finding her mother. Period. That shift matters. Because now, someone who might hesitate over getting someone arrested doesn't have that mental barrier. This reward is about recovery. And Nancy Grace believes that distinction alone could push someone over the edge into action. Then there's the total number. When you add in the previously offered $202,000, the puck climbs even higher. Nancy Grace said she cannot recall a recent case in U.S. history where a private family offered a citizen reward this substantial. That kind of financial pressure can't be ignored. It shakes branches, it rattles loyalties, it creates cracks. And sometimes, cracks are all investigators need. But while the reward is making waves, there's another development that may be even more significant. A flurry of activity at Nancy Guthrie's home. Investigators going in and out. Legal teams involved. According to Nancy Grace, at least one individual entering the home may have been a federal prosecutor assisting in the legal process of the search. That suggests something serious. Something methodical. Something expanding. Because this is no longer just a missing persons case operating on routine procedures. This is evolving. And then came a revelation that shifted the narrative entirely. Nancy Guthrie did not go to the door and let someone inside. That did not happen. She was dragged from her bed. An 84-year-old grandmother, at 2 a.m. dragged. That detail changes everything. Because now the bedroom itself becomes a crime scene of immense importance. Nancy Grace broke down why this matters from a forensic standpoint. Bed sheets, blankets, pillows. These are porous materials, meaning they absorb biological evidence differently than hard surfaces. Extracting DNA from porous material isn't simple. It may require advanced techniques like MV-ACK processing to pull trace evidence from fabric fibers. Compare that to a non-porous surface like a bedside table, where traditional swabbing can work effectively. That bedroom now represents an entirely new layer of forensic opportunity. And forensic science doesn't forget. It waits, it extracts, it reveals. Emotionally, this revelation hits even harder, because this wasn't someone answering a knock at the door. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was intrusion, violation, force. And the image of an elderly grandmother being taken from her own bed in the middle of the night is something that lingers. It angers people. It mobilizes people. It creates urgency. Nancy Grace, who has covered countless cases over decades, did not mince words. She believes this reward, combined with forensic developments, is enough to disrupt silence. And silence is often the biggest obstacle in cases like this. Somebody knows something. Somebody always does. The question is whether they're willing to speak. Money changes that equation. Pressure changes that equation. Time changes that equation. And hope. Hope refuses to leave. The host closed the segment acknowledging something many Americans are feeling. They're praying. Praying for safe return. Praying for reunion. Praying for a miracle. Nancy Grace referenced the Elizabeth Smart case. A reminder that even in dark, prolonged investigations, survival stories exist. Hope is not foolish, it is fuel. But hope alone isn't strategy. This $1 million reward is strategy. The forensic advancements are strategy. The increased legal presence is strategy. The public pressure is strategy. And together, Nancy Grace believes it's enough to shake the tree. Because when you shake a tree hard enough, something falls. Secrets fall. Guilt falls. Fear falls. And sometimes, the truth falls right into investigators' hands. Right now, the Guthrie family waits. They wait for a call. They wait for a tip. They wait for a break. But this case is no longer stagnant. It is moving. And whether it's a conscience cracking under pressure, or evidence emerging from fibers once overlooked, or someone deciding that $1 million and the weight of silence is too much to carry, something has shifted. And according to Nancy Grace, that shift may be exactly what this case needed. The question now is simple. Who's going to respond first? The evidence? Or the person who knows where Nancy Guthrie is? $1 million is on the table. And sometimes, that's all it takes to shake the tree.